I was very happy to hear the feedback from you on how Mr. Dansu's video we featured just last week, as of the time we are recording this video, has really encouraged you. One man told me he would be stocking more turkeys next year and he's going all in. He knows that by God's grace he's also going to succeed. I was very happy to hear that. So we've decided to give opportunity to anyone who would also like to share his or her success story on turkey farming, and you can WhatsApp the number on the screen, so we give you the general guidelines on how you should make the video. These guidelines will be very simple. For example, you shouldn't take your video in portrait. You shouldn't raise it this way, just like how I'm holding the phone. You should take the video in landscape like this. Yes, like this. So these guidelines will be very simple, and you can make the videos. You may not know, sometimes the little things that you did that helped you succeed may be just what someone also needs to hear for him or her to also succeed or stop some mistake that he's also doing. So I'm going to start and also share my success journey on how a young engineer from KNUST also failed so many times and finally succeeded in 2023. He failed from 2021 to 2023. That person is me. I'm actually talking about myself. I failed from 2021 and it's in 2023, this year, as of the time I'm recording this video, that I finally succeeded in turkey farming. I know you are going to enjoy it, and it's also going to be an encouraging story, and I believe you will learn a thing or two. So stay tuned. My name is Enriosu Boache, and I welcome all of you to Hobbs Ranch. I did telecommunication engineering in KNUST, and I graduated just last year, 2022. In my third year, that was 2021, I decided to make my money work for me. I decided to do something that would bring me money. I had read a lot of financial books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, and I decided to apply the knowledge. So I thought about it and decided to go into poultry farming. I borrowed 200 Ghana cedis from a very good friend of mine without any idea of how I was going to pay the money. So I borrowed that 200 Ghana cedis from the friend, and a very good friend. He freely lended me the money, trusted me, and I was determined to pay back. Just because he trusted me with his money, I was determined to pay back. So I bought 3 turkeys and 12 guinea fowls. 3 turkeys, 12 guinea fowls, and about 5 foreign breed chickens from my first vendor, a very wise and experienced turkey farmer that will be featuring very soon on Hobbs Ranch. So stay tuned. With the turkeys, I bought 3 of them. I told him I wanted two females and 1 male, but unfortunately they all grew up to be 3 females. The guinea fowls were 12, and the night that I brought them home, they were day old. The night that I brought them home, one died. One of the guinea fowls died, and that was very painful because one guinea fowl was sold at 10 cedis then. So my 10 cedis was gone, and for a young man starting in life, that 10 cedis was big money for me. I didn't have money, so that 10 cedis was very painful to lose. I was able to provide them with good food. I convinced my mom, and she invested some amount in buying their first feed. And because they were small, the food lasted for a while, and I was able to feed them very well. So for the initial stage, they all grew very, very well. They grew big and they were very heavy. I fed them 3 times a day, and I believe the reason why I was successful in this first batch was because I fed them very well. Following that, when their first feed finished, I didn't know where to get money. But what I could do was repairs. I could fix iron, kettle, hot plates, rice cooker, and in at the university they fix a lot of they use a lot of iron, kettle, rice cooker, these electrical appliances. So I would go from door to door and ask if you have a faulty appliance, then I'll fix it for you. That really helped me to get money to buy them feed as time went on. But it was very difficult because the feed prices really increased, and when you fix things you don't really get a lot of money. Though a lot of people have faulty appliances, sometimes they don't trust you because you are a student. They don't think you can really fix the appliance well for them. You don't really have the experience to do the fixing, so sometimes you don't really get a lot of money. So little by little I was able to pay off my debts, the small loan I took from my very good friend, and from there I was also able to provide feed for them once in a while. So as time went on, that was where the challenges began. When they grew up, by then I wasn't home, I was still in school, so it was my mother and my young brother that were taking care of the turkeys for me. So sometimes I would come home in about a month or a week time to check up on them, if everything was okay, if their coop was clean. If it wasn't, then I'll do a very hard work of cleaning their coop, and that wasn't easy. My mom and my brother did a very good job of taking very good care of them. In fact, if I was home by then, I don't think I could have done such a good job. They really took very good care of them, and they grew very big. When they reached about 7 months, I couldn't buy good food for them anymore. I didn't always get enough money. The feed prices increased and I couldn't feed them. I decided to also add leftover rice from schools. So I would go to the schools and collect leftover rice. So after seeking permission from schools that I'll be coming for their rice that was left, I would show my young brother the location of the school. So after the school closes, he will go to the schools and he'll be feeding them with this leftover. And I made the mistake of feeding them entirely on the leftover. Since I found the leftover and the feed was expensive, I'll give them leftover in the morning and store some of the leftover for afternoon, and then I'll go for a new leftover, keep it till morning and feed them with that leftover too. So I was using just the leftover rice to feed them, and that was where the challenges began. At that time when I started giving them leftover, they were about 4 months. So for them, they had already grown and they could eat the leftover and they were fine. Because the turkeys were 3 females, I had to buy 1 male and add it to them. One day I was in school and my mom called me with a very sad, bad news. She said one of the female turkeys was dead. She couldn't really tell the reason. It wasn't from a disease because it was not sick. It was fine. The next day she went and it was dead. So it was left with just 2 females. So I was very happy when I heard that turkey chicks have started hatching. What I did was I gave the eggs to a hen to hatch for me. So the hen hatched the eggs very well, and there were about 6 babies. And in my mind, I had imagined all the 6 babies grown up, and they too also start laying eggs and reproducing for me to get more. In just about 2 weeks, they developed fowl pox. Just the newly hatched turkeys, which I had imagined they have already grown up and they've started laying for me. They developed fowl pox, and in some few days, all the 6 died. It wasn't long when that same turkey that laid the first egg laid again, and this time it hatched the chicks itself. It hatched the babies herself. I was very happy. That was great news for me because I've waited long to get turkey chicks and expand, get more turkeys, so at least I can expand and sell. Even the mere act of getting more turkeys and seeing that your turkeys are growing, they are becoming many, that feeling alone is just wonderful. So I had longed for such a feeling, and finally I heard the good news that the turkeys, one of the female turkeys had started hatching her eggs, and I was very happy. And with those baby turkeys too, they all died. The main problem was that I fed even the baby turkeys entirely on leftover feed. I was giving the baby turkeys, which needed very good and quality protein feed, I was giving them leftover rice, which was just carbohydrates. It had very little protein and full of carbohydrates. So it didn't help them to grow well. They were all growing lean, and when you see them, they'll be very slim and they would be standing down as if they were almost dying. So that was what was happening to my baby turkeys. Whenever baby turkeys were hatched, they would die. Whenever they hatched, they would die. It was very sad. And I believe the main reason was just what I said, the feed, because I wasn't providing them with quality feed. Aside that, the place where they was also not very good for raising turkeys. It was a very small corridor, and I just made it a little suitable for them by creating some small space, and there wasn't much ventilation, so it was very bad for them. When I started losing my turkeys and I wasn't really progressing, I really went online and read intensively on how to raise turkeys, some poultry management. I read on poultry management, disease treatment, vaccination. I watched a lot of YouTube videos just like you are doing right now. And that really helped me to improve. I learned some organic treatments using bitter leaves, aloe vera. I learned some important tricks that you see me share on Hobbs Ranch. I believe that was a very good time, and in God's own way, He had planned it that way so that I take time to learn the turkey farming before I could succeed, so I can also share my experience and knowledge with others. So sometimes the turkeys would lay and I would make the mother turkey hatch herself, but they will die. Sometimes I give the eggs to hen to hatch, for a hen to hatch and raise the babies. They will all die again. And the main thing that caused the disease was either fowl pox or marek. Marek is when they can't walk. Sometimes they will grow very well, and then one day you come, they won't be able to walk. And when they are not able to walk, they can't walk to where the food is. They can't walk to where the water is to either eat or drink. And they will grow very lean and they will die. I began to finally succeed when I made a brooder house for my turkey chicks and also bought them quality feed. I bought them broiler starter. It was very expensive, but that was when I began to succeed. So with just that two changes that I made, I was succeeding. I began to successfully raise all my turkeys. When they were day old to about 1 month, they will be in the brooder house, and when they grow up to 1 month or 5 weeks, then I'll bring them to this cage. So they'll be here till they reach about 3 months, and then I'll let them go. And that method really helped me. Just the mere creation of a brooder house and providing them with quality feed changed everything for me. Yeah, I had some few challenges, like sometimes seeing an illness, or sometimes you come and find a turkey dead. You won't really understand what caused the death, but I had improved significantly. And in just this year, I've so improved that one day one Nigerian friend who also did turkey farming asked me, what is my mortality rate? What he meant by that was, when I'm raising my baby turkeys, how many of them die? And I told him 0. None of them will die. I can raise 10, 15, 20, all of them will survive. Not even one of them will die. And he was very surprised to hear that. He was expecting me to say, oh, like 2 or 3 of them will die. No, none of them will die. And I believe you've also had such experience where you raise all your turkeys and none of them will die. They will all grow up very well. Another thing that has really helped me succeed is me not allowing my female turkey to hatch. So this is the last female that is left. Among the 3 females that I started with, this is the last one that is left. On the way, one of the females also died, and here, this is the last female that is left. So when you look in this video, you see that we have 3 turkeys, and one of them is white. The white one is this turkey, and it is the only one that is left. Just in 10 months, this turkey has laid 120 eggs. It has laid 120 eggs. And I believe the reason why it has laid that number of eggs is because I don't allow it to hatch the eggs, and I don't allow it to take care of the babies. Right after laying the eggs, I'll put it back in the cage, provide it with the necessary nutrients, and in no time it would develop more eggs and then lay again. When you allow your turkey to hatch eggs and raise the babies, it takes time for it to start laying again. It can take more than 3 months or 4 months. So in a year, your turkey can hatch like just 3 times a year, and in every hatch it will hatch like 10. So the whole year you get only 30 turkeys. But this year alone, in just 10 months, this turkey has laid 120 eggs. 120 eggs. So it has done very well. Right now I think it's old. I bought it in 2021 and we are in 2023. It's no longer laying as well as it used to lay, but it still lays. Just last week it could lay about 3 eggs. Just last week it's still laying actually. It's still laying. Just last week it laid about 3 eggs, and I believe this week too is going to lay at least 4 or 3 eggs. So it's still doing very well, moderately, compared to these new turkeys. These are the babies of these turkeys that are currently laying. Compared to these new layers, this turkey is not doing very well. These new layers will lay a minimum of 5 eggs every week. So after my first success in 2023, I decided to create a YouTube channel where I could also share my ideas, help people see the way, and aside that, I believe that YouTube will also give me the opportunity to also advertise my product, that's the turkey. So if anyone wanted a turkey, that person could also get some to buy, and it has really helped. Thank you all guys. You've really supported the channel. You've been following, watching the YouTube videos. The feedback you give that the channel is really helping. It has helped you done this or that, and it's really helping you. Sometimes I get WhatsApp calls, normal calls, and it's very, very encouraging. Thank you all for supporting the channel. So that's my success story, and that's my success journey. If you'd also like to share your success story and your success journey with us, feel free to WhatsApp the number on the screen. We give you the general guidelines, and then you'd make a wonderful video. Don't be shy to make a video. You may not know, sometimes the challenge you faced and how you overcame it would be just what someone is also looking for to overcome his challenge. Thanks for watching guys. We wish you all the best in your turkey farming. We'll be waiting up on you to also send your success story on turkey farming. Bye.